Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Tony Harvin. I greet everybody upon this afternoon. In general, those who's going to join the live now, in the middle, enjoy it, and those who are going to catch it on your replay. And y'all know my disclaimer: I'm not a pastor, preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church at all. We just here giving news stories, having conversations, and things like that. This is not a sermon. This is not a sermon. I'm not Pastor Harvin at all. I'm just a YouTuber. That's it. I know my camera may look different. So if anybody got any questions about why the camera is looking like this, it's because my other camera, I left my battery at the place I was at yesterday, 12 hours away. I don't have my battery to my camera, so I'm using my camera from my computer. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean? I hope everybody's doing well upon this afternoon. You know, so we're here to talk about this story. I was talking with somebody about this. They brought this to my attention. So I said, you know what, why not talk about this? I heard a little bit of it on the news and whatnot. What up to Jose and Sandra? What up? Hope all is well. And basically, what up, Elias? Basically, these people, they wanted to visit the Titanic. They wanted to visit the wreckage of the Titanic over 12,000 feet down in the ocean. Really? Really? Listen, what person you know that say, listen, man, I want to go visit the site of the Titanic 12,000 feet down. Listen, I don't even like going in 3 feet deep of water in a pool. Listen, I'm just sitting on the ledge, got my feet kicked in the waters, let alone in a closed submarine over 12,000 feet. What's so fascinating, what's so exciting about going into a submarine going all the way down over 12,000 feet in the water? 12,000. We ain't talking about 12. Listen, we ain't talking about 100. We talking about 12,000 feet down. You know what I mean? And they actually thought that was so fascinating. You know, of course, it's a sad situation, but the common sense level on a lot of people in these days, rich people with money, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing else better to do with your money to pay $250,000 just to go down 12,000 feet in the water. I don't get it. Listen, you could have cut me that check. You could have gave it to me, some of the people on here. You understand? We would have made use of that money of helping the people out, you know, who's in need of, you know what I mean, financial things and stuff like that. But to spend that just to go 12,000 feet in the water, I don't get it, man. I really don't. The Titanic. What up to the Explorer? What up, Yvonne? What up to Fitzgerald, Sandra Williams? I think I shout out you out. Fitzgerald said, this story is crazy. I found it pretty funny. I don't laugh at death in general, but some people, you paying for yourself to die and putting yourself in a situation like that. You know what I mean? Listen, if you're not a professional diver, if you're not the Coast Guard, if you're not the Navy and things like that, just leave that stuff alone. You understand? Just leave it alone. You had some private, you know, builder and you know what I mean, creator of that submarine. You understand? So we're gonna check it out. A little bit of the story. Let me share the screen right quick. Shout out to those who are now joining us. What up to Linda? He says, what's going on? What up, Mrs. G? Yvonne says, not me. Not me either. Listen, you won't find me. Man, I want to go, I don't even want to bungee jump. Some people want to skydive. You know what I mean? You got people out there that like doing things like that. Listen, I'm not even going on rides at Great Adventure. I ain't going on no rides at Carowinds. You know what I mean? I just don't play with stuff like that. I don't get excited about things of you putting yourself in harm's way because you don't know what type of malfunction can come at the end of the day. You know, especially being in a submarine, not even built by the government or inspected right. You know, you had some fool, thought he was, very smart and intelligent that he can build something to go all the way down there. And it did good for a while. You know what I mean? And, he was milking the cow with these rich people, $250,000 just to go visit the Titanic, down and back up. What's so fascinating about that? Look at pictures online, look at the divers who went down there. Look at those type of documentaries. Why you got to put your life at risk just to go see some boat, that been down there for how long? You know what I mean? What's so fascinating about that? Okay, yeah, we saw the Titanic. So what? What's next? You know what I'm saying? Elias said they got what? Yo, y'all funny. Ah man, y'all funny. What up? What up, Irene Davenport, Mary Starkey? What up? What up, Fantabulous? Fitzgerald says, I can only imagine what type of animals they saw while they were that deep in the water. Yeah. So we're gonna share the screen right quick, and I'll go back to the comments and whatnot. We're gonna go to the victims. So here are the victims right here. I'm sharing the screen right quick. If you guys can see it. So it says what we know about the 5 men who were aboard the wrecked Titan sub. These are the 5 men out here. I know the one to the far right of my screen, is a 19-year-old kid, I believe. He didn't want to go, but, he wanted to please his father. Yeah, okay. I don't care if my mother tried to convince me to go swim like that. No. Anybody. I ain't doing none of that. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if it's a child. Listen, I'm not a person to want to do things, stuff like that, to make a family member or anybody feel happy. No, I'm not. So here goes one of them. What is that? Hamish Harding. He was a chairman of Action Aviation, an aviation sales and counseling company. He was retired from NASA. No, he was. It said retired NASA astronaut Terry Vitz. His friend Harding, he said, is an explorer by nature, a businessman, British. Next one is, what is this? Shazada DeWood. I don't see his picture up here. And they got Mr. DeWood, 19 years of age, a college student. Wow. Stockton Rush. He was the co-founder, I believe, of that submarine and whatnot. That's crazy. So that's the co-founder, or whatever the case may be. That's a sad situation, man. Very, very sad. And things like that. What up to Claire? Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Claire. Fitzgerald, I think I read that one. Just imagine you in a submarine like that. You know what I mean? And things just come crumbling, an implosion, collapsing. You over 12,000 feet in the waters. What can you do? Even if you got the ability to swim or to hold your breath for at least 5 minutes, you know what I mean? You think you could swim all the way up to the top that quick to survive? Why would anyone put themselves in harm's way like that? If you're not going down there for educational purposes or doing your job as a diver or law enforcement officer or the military and whatnot, you're just going down there for fun. Or we're going to have fun and we're going to visit the Titanic. Yeah. Okay. Right. Easy says they got the full experience. Oh man. And let me see if I could share some of the pictures of the Titanic. Let's see if we can share some of it. So just bear with me right quick as we pull them up. He said they got the full experience. You laughing? Man, y'all funny, man. I knew these comments was gonna come in. Claire says, I am in a claustrophobic. You couldn't pay me, and I'm also afraid of deep, super deep water and ocean. Absolutely. I'm not afraid, but I just won't do it at all. You know what I mean? It's no way to get out of it. I don't care how much I'm in shape, how much oxygen I got in my lungs. 12,000 feet, you ain't making it. You understand? Let alone sea creatures and all that in the water that you still gotta fight off and get away from. Miss G says, being that I can't swim, it would have never been a thought of me to go visit the Titanic, no matter how much money I have or had. And if I did have the money, wouldn't go looking for the Titanic. Absolutely. Like I said earlier, if it ain't for research purposes, educational, uh, leave it to the professionals. Leave it to the professionals for sure. I don't know what type of people would trust a person like the owner, you know what I mean, who say he cut corners into building that submarine. You know what I mean? But people just, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Fantabulous says it was stated that the son of the victim was terrified before going. Yeah, I heard that one earlier today. He was terrified going. Well, he should have went with his instincts and not have went. You know, it sounded like he was kind of peer pressured by his father, or he wanted to make his father feel happy. Yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. There's a lot of people out there that try to, well, why you don't want to go with me, X, Y, Z, and they feel bad for the person. You know what? I'm going to ride out for this person. No way. If your feelings are hurt, you get over it after a while. But then again, in this case, he wouldn't have made it. Ivory Coast, what up? What up? What up? June Brown says the son should have followed his gut feeling because he said he was feeling afraid and didn't want to go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I can't imagine you just sitting there underneath the water for hours and then boom, an implosion happens. Your mind in that situation, 12,000 feet deep in the waters, and you've gone through horrific times, and your life is flashing before you. Your life is just flashing before you. Rich people, billionaires, millionaires, you know. Now, I can't say if they did or didn't know God. I don't know that. I wasn't in their life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We don't know. You know what I mean? But, according to some stories that people may have read upon, I haven't. Y'all may know more information about these people than me. But I can't sit here and say that they didn't know God. But to make a decision like that raises questions for sure. Raises a whole lot of questions. I know some of us make mistakes, but I know for sure a lot of us on here would not have agreed to go or think about going on a submarine that deep. I'm not going to say that, Sandra Williams. I can't say that. If I put that comment up, they probably ban me from YouTube. Claire says I wouldn't even get on a submarine if the military told me to. I'm staying on the Earth's surfaces. Thanks. Yeah. S. Hover says, hey, brother Tony, what was their purpose of going? That was crazy. Their purpose was to visit the Titanic. Where the Titanic is at, I guess they want to, I don't know, explore it, take pictures, look at it, and go home. I mean, they had no real educational reasons to visit that spot. Some people have, visited and survived and whatnot and things like that, but this is going to raise a question in general. I hope it raises a question to the Navy and the Coast Guard. That is a dangerous matter to even explore that. Cut people off from visiting, that area. Fitzgerald says, you want to know the crazy part? I heard the whole submarine was being controlled and manipulated by a PlayStation video game controller. Yep, you're right about that. I was going to get to that. Really? You going 12,000 feet deep. And sometimes, when I put stories out here like this, I'll be having like the family members or their friends reach out to me angry that I put out a news story, how I come across and speak my mind to people. They come reach out to me for what? Listen, I'm going to block your number, your email, tell you how much of a fool your family members was, that they shouldn't have went on this. A person would actually go into a submarine over 12,000 feet down. You put your life in the control of a video game controller. You know what I mean? Besides the sun, four fools. Four fools. Besides the son, who should have went with his gut feeling not to go. The youngest of them all has just a little bit of sense, but he just missed it. Just missed it. June Brown said they should have stayed in their territory. Absolutely. Fantabulous says it was stated that they were literally in a. He says it was stated that they were literally in a can buried alive in water. Wow. Well, there's no way out. No way out of that. Unless the Lord have mercy, serious mercy on them. Whoever, if one of them or all of them survived, that'd probably be the only way out. The mercy of God. You understand? Maurice says Stockton Rush was married to Wendy Rush, granddaughter of Isidore Stratus, a man who died on the Titanic. Wow. Claire says the Titanic was the one that they said even God couldn't sink it, and then it sunk. It's cursed. I wouldn't visit it. Wow, that's my first time hearing that. That's one thing you don't do, is play with God like that. And you got a lot of people out there that play like that. Whether you're playing or you're serious, you know what I mean? There's nothing too hard for God to do. You know what I mean? When visiting websites, and we're gonna check it out about that Titanic. Look at that. Look at that. Pictures or images of the Titanic that was sinking. Now that's the Titanic in the water, over 12,000 feet in the water. See, I'm viewing it right now. This fine with me. I don't gotta pay nobody $250,000, just to go visit the Titanic. I'm looking at it right now at home. You know what I'm saying? In my kitchen, and I ain't gotta pay $250,000. You know what I mean? I'm looking right at it right now. It's in the water. It's sunk right there. Listen, the same stuff that they wanted to see in person, you can see it right here. Guess what? For free. Excluding your internet costs. For free. Some people don't use their common sense at all. You know what I mean? All right. So there's more images of the Titanic right there. Because what's so fascinating about being in the waters? Oh man, I want to go see that in person. I want to go see that. And we looking at it right now. So that was the submarine right here. This thing, who would trust their life in something like that? Going down over 12,000 feet in the water. Who would trust something like that? Come on now, use your common sense. Like I said, besides that 19-year-old boy who had some common sense, but he didn't act on his gut feelings of not going at all. Who would trust their life in something like that? That wasn't truly put together right, But some people, I tell you for sure, man, there you go right there. You were actually going something like that, controlled by a PlayStation controller. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, for sure, man. Listen, I don't know what's up with these people. I listen, I really don't know what's up with these people at all, for sure. You know. What up, Tony Love? You said some people are obsessed with the story of the Titanic. They hold on to it like they should hold on to. They Do you mean they should hold on to it like they should hold on to God? Do you mean that at Tony Love? Elias says they didn't understand the Titanic above, so they decided to Titanic below. What up, Carla Petty? Linda says, I definitely would spend my money more wisely. Absolutely. Claire says, don't let people bully you into making big decisions like that. Don't let people control you, for sure. Holy Scripture says, pray for the family that God will give them peace throughout this difficult time. Well, listen, sure prayers, but still got to keep it truthful. Still got to be truthful about it. It was a dumb decision for them to do. You understand? Because I'm not, I'm not going to say, oh, well, that was sad, XYZ. Okay. Granted, it was a tragic situation. But like I said, what person on here, anybody on here, I don't care what background you're from, what religion you're from, you would actually trust your life going over 12,000 feet in the waters off of something that the owner say he cut corners with building and whatnot. You will actually spend $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Just to go down there and come back up, putting your life at risk. Claire says, meanwhile, 500 people still missing from a boat in Greece, but they are poor immigrants. Wow, I didn't know that. June says that man who paid down his money then changed his mind. He better go and turn over his life to God. Oh, you said somebody changed their mind? And was somebody out there change their mind? Simeon Daniel says, Titanic still killing people? Yo, that was funny. Larry says, Tony, count me out. The pressure probably crushed that thing to the size of a box. Ridiculous. Yeah, that little unput together thing. You know what I mean? Man, I don't know. Fantabulous says, send the drones or robots, not human life. I agree. Listen, send them down there with a camera. We can view it from above somewhere on a big screen. A camera can go all in that Titanic. A robot could go all around the Titanic, inside of it, if it could fit crevices and things like that. Send that there. I wouldn't go. You know what I mean? What up, Coach? He says, brother, whales and dolphins are mammals too, and they are smart enough not to go that deep. And just think, God created them before us. Go figure. Wow. Hoover says they went on a suicide mission. Not saying they were trying to, but that wasn't a good idea. You're right about that. Claire says sometimes when people have a lot of money and have done everything already, they want thrills. They know the risks. That's crazy. Claire says, but of course, it's still sad. Pray for the families. Absolutely. June says, I bet some of them wouldn't take one day to go to church to hear the word of God. Wow. He says they all live in the yellow submarine. Fitzgerald says you couldn't pay me enough to even come in for the presentation. I'd rather stay on land where my feet touches the ground. Oh man. Sophia says God destroyed that ship for a reason. I was watching that purpose. I was watching that person that mocked God. That happened. I believe the man built Titanic and said that God can't sink the ship in front of the whole world. Wow. That's crazy. Claire says, according to the update, they died instantly in the implosion. I'm glad they didn't suffer. He said, I thought rich people were smart. Yo, that's funny. He said, I thought rich people were smart. Ah, man. Ah, man. Listen, let me give you a key factor. Money don't make people smart. You know what I mean? It really don't. Some people think they smart and above everybody because they got a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? Brandy says, imagine paying that much to visit a graveyard. Italian says, I was watching on the submarine on the news for 2 days. It makes no sense to go underwater to discover what is that? A Titan to make history. Wow. Absolutely. Fantabulous says the vessel exploded due to the water pressure. Mm, mm, mm. Claire says people don't have an unhealthy obsession with death, especially those who don't believe in God. Curiosity got the best of them, and curiosity took them, Miss G says. Wow. He says, I didn't even know was that submersible vacations was an industry until this story I have the story broke. I had no idea people did this stuff. Well, submersible vacations. I'm not interested. You know what I mean? I listen. I'd rather have a staycation right at home. I got my fridge over here. I have me some T-bone steaks in there. You know what I mean? We got the laptop. You know, kick our feet up on the couch and just relax. You know, me, I'm a person. I'm not fascinated with none of that type of stuff. You know, AG says another man familiar with this technology said he knew it imploded on Monday. I think I seen that today too. While media acting like they didn't know what was going on. Ms. G says, and regardless, I pray comfort for the families. Absolutely. Cecilia Reed, what up? You says, no way I would never pay money to do that. Absolutely. A small submarine going down, he says 2 million feet deep. Oh, man. AG says 2 people in the sub were related to 2 people that sank on the Titanic. Wow. 10 Ninja says you can't have a Home Depot submarine and think it's safe. This is so sad. Home Depot. Wow. I can imagine being with 4 people the size of a minivan and no way to leave that's tight space. Claire stated. Italian AI technology couldn't even save them underwater. Wow. What up, Christopher Brown? He says, hello, everyone. Yeah, I saw that. And I was appalled what they paid all that money to go down that deep down in the ocean. Wow. What up? What up? Finally aware of you. Hope all is well. You says I saw this article. They were billionaires and sadly ungodly. Prodigal Son says, "What's with this submarine trash? It's all over my news feed." You funny. Courtney B says, just like they finally made the James Webb telescope to see better views of outer space, they could have done the same for the Titanic. He heard my cry says, I feel bad for them. Either way, the jokes ain't funny. To me, either laughing at someone else's tragedy is beyond me. This world has really become cold wax. Well, we're not laughing at their death. We laughing and about their decision, about what person with a good mindset. Well, they ain't have no good mindset because I'm not gonna sit here and say, listen, let me go outside in a blooded area or in a gang infested area. Let me go wear $250,000 worth of jewelry. Let me go spend $250,000 going over 12,000 feet in the waters just to see a boat. You know what I mean? Some people just make some stupid decisions. You know what I mean? You wonder like what make a person think to do to have stupid decisions like that. You know, a lot of us have made stupid decisions, but that's just something different. You know, I'm not a person to bungee jump. I don't like airplanes. I don't like boats, cruises, nothing. You know, let alone going into a 3 feet pool over 12,000 feet. a suicide mission. Some people like to play with death. You know, you got a lot of people out here playing with death. And I categorize that as playing with death because they knew the factors. You know, they filled out the contract, the paperwork. I believe it mentioned something about, causing death that they had to fill out, and they read it and they still filled it out, you know? So it's I don't blame nobody else but them. They made that decision. You know, they knew it could be a possibility that it would cause death, but they still took the chance to go. You know, yes, death is a sad situation. It is. It's prayers to them and their families for comfort and whatnot. You know, but you know how people are going to be over the internet. You know how they're going to be. You know people is going to go in. They're gonna make memes, videos. You know, they're gonna be crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? I saw a couple of memes. I saw a meme today on Facebook. I mean, some people could just be so heartless and cold and wax cold. They could be. You know, it's funny, but is it right? No. You know, but we living in a time where social media will rip a story apart, rip people apart, and don't care and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So that's how I learned to have bulletproof emotions, despite what people say about me. You know, in general. But I'm trying to keep it clean as much as possible, for sure. All right. Fantabulous says, yes, there was a gentleman that did say no, he will pass on that as a result, an unfortunate trip. Shout out to that man. You know, listen, shout out to that man for sure. What up, Flemings? Hope all is well. He says one of the victims didn't want to go, but went anyway. Yep, the 19-year-old boy. Prodigal Son says, folks do the craziest thing, especially thinking all animals are pets until they get ripped apart by lions and tigers. Listen, I can't pinpoint, certain races doing, crazy stuff in general. You know what I mean? Because us colored folk, we got some things that we do foolishly also. It just may not be certain things like that. For sure, man, you funny. Latanya says some rich people don't always have common sense. Narrow says that's absolutely nuts to get inside of a bootleg contraption like that, especially going into the midnight zone of the northern Atlantic Ocean. Listen, I don't care how much you pay me. You can say I give you $1 billion if you go into the submarine and go check out the Titanic and come back. I don't want it. I don't want it at all. Christopher says the Almighty God sunk the Titanic because they mocked him and you say nothing couldn't sink, not even God, and he sunk it. Wow, that's crazy. Yvonne says as we see being rich with no common sense or no belief in God is a death sentence straight to hell. Wow. Georgina Fleming says overwhelming water pressure most likely caused the implosion. Prodigal Son says it's their decisions and actions that causes death. Yeah, that could be a key factor to death. People decisions and their actions. Sometimes death could just tragically happen. Some people could die of heart attacks and things like that. But in cases like that, people like them, they took a chance. They took a chance on death. All right. Fleming says equipment failure or human error. Either way, it's a sad situation. Miss Magic says my heart goes out to the families trying to understand this, but I could have done a lot with 1.2 mil. Absolutely. For sure. Pay off Sally Mae and Naviant. June Brown says, oh yes, he paid his money and changed his mind because he said it wasn't safe. Wow. Wow. Hubbard says facts. They were definitely playing with death for a name of fame. Yo, prodigal son, you funny, man. Oh man, this guy's funny. Brandy said it was really controlled by a game controller. Just imagine putting your life. Just imagine. Listen, I'm gonna put my life in the hands of a PlayStation controller. I'm gonna put my life in the hands of a Sega Genesis controller, Nintendo 64, Xbox. I'm gonna put my life in the hands of that. Something that I play NBA Live, Madden football, Fight Night. You understand? I'm gonna put my life in the hands of a PlayStation controller. Really? I mean, these people made all this money. Made all this money. Well, where's the common sense to that? Ninja says, I'm not getting in John's boat to go fishing, much less going under 2 miles of the ocean. Wow. Latanya says, have the bodies been located yet? My condolences goes out to the family. I haven't heard any updates on that one, you know. Cecilia Reed says, there's also a lot of poor people out there needs that money. They could have come together and help. Persons need help. Don't only think about themselves. Prayers goes out to the family. He heard my cry. Oh, you talking to prodigal son? He says, ain't nowhere near over righteous, but mess around and keep laughing at folks' death and watch God bring judgment on you. That's biblical. Oh, okay, you talking to prodigal son. Okay. They got a little thing going on back and forth, huh? He heard my cry, prodigal son. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-uh. It's the Wild Wild West. Wow, 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 wow. Y'all going at it again, man. Narrow said that's asking to get crushed. Also, going that far down in the water pressure down that deep will crush all of your insides there. Would be nothing left but a pile of a person's remains. Yvonne wrote Proverbs 14 and 12. Wow. Got you. Oh man, y'all funny. Prodigal son. All right. Instantaneous death, catastrophic implosion. Heard that sub lost oxygen. Miss Magic says, I work at a hospital and don't like being on elevators with people. Me either. Me either. You know, I don't even like elevators. But I think says, no way black folk dying like that. Look at the Titanic. He said there was no black persons on it. Wayne Jr. says there's something down in the water we knows nothing about. Willie Timpson says, I'll go if it's a Navy sub. What Tony and everyone? Well, I would do a Navy sub if I was in that field, younger. You know, but as far as like going for fun, no. You know what I'm saying? But if I was in the military, the Navy, the Coast Guard, and that was my job or whatever the case may be, then I would do it. I would have no problem with it, you know, because I know the U.S. military, they are more equipped and stuff like that versus some nutcase who thought he could be a top tier inventor of that. Like somebody said earlier, a Home Depot type of submarine. You know, we know the military got that high tech, high class, things, just in case if something was to happen, they know the detection that would come on, on their, what I'm saying, submarines or whatnot. This guy, I don't know, he just built it like whatever. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go on a submarine like how they died in, but if my job was in the military with the Coast Guard or with the Navy, then I wouldn't mind doing it, because I know the military ain't going down just to sightsee. They're not going down to sightsee at all. Fleming says highest of technologies doesn't give guarantees. Sheila Davis says there's no way I would trust something that small underwater with all that pressure. Good, I think says they said it had a PlayStation controller as the steering wheel. That would have been my first hint. This ain't gonna work. A PlayStation controller as a steering wheel. Wow. Fitzgerald says, do you think there are some crazy people out there who would want to go underwater next just to say, I saw the Titanic out of pride? Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. You know, I don't know, something going off out there. So, y'all gonna come with me right quick. All right, it stopped. Forgive me for that. So, yes, I agree with that. I agree with people do things just to say, yeah, I did it. Just to say, yeah, I went here. I saw the Titanic. I don't know why. I don't know why some people are fascinated with things like that. Just to say they went somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I never was a person like that. You know what I mean? For sure. At all. You know? Oh man. He says Naviat still got the foot on my neck after all these years. Wow. Some were saying CO2 poisoning prior to the implosion. Mm. Good, I think, says now watch Hollywood will make a romantic movie out of that, and all the women in this comment section will watch it and then ask their husbands why they ain't like Leonardo DiCaprio 2.0. Oh man, y'all funny, man. Y'all funny. June says rich people do some of the craziest stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I think they says it even had a PVC pipes on parts of it. PVC pipes. Wow. Wow. Fleming says the billionaire who died, all that money couldn't save him. Wow. John Smith says even the military has a prayer or blessings before going underwater. Not always, but in ceremony. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I bet there was no prayer before they went down, just a routine trip. Wow. He says acting like professional divers caused their lives and others perished. Family members must be in disbelief. Sudden death must be in shock. Fleming states. Smith says, yes, military has what is that? Redundancy after redundancy after redundancies, backup on backups. Wow. So they said it couldn't have it couldn't be open from the inside, just outside. That's suicide. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy for sure. Fleming says, I think sudden death is worse than expected death. That's something deep right there. Sudden death, car crashes, being shot, stabbed, dying in your sleep, dropping dead, cardiac arrest, strokes, just sudden things can happen to people. Airplane explosions, twin towers. You think about stuff like that. Expected death. You're in hospice. You're 95 years of age. You might have a little bit of time to get right. You might have. So I think you're right about that one at Fleming's. At least with expected death, you listen. You got some time to get right. You got some time to get right with God and hope that you are extra right and making it in for sure. But sudden, yeah, that's crazy. for sure. Wayne Jr. says this should be a warning to us all. Deep waters and space is not for us humans. He said water and black folks don't go together. The hardest is knowing your loved one is dead but can't bury them. Wow. Wow. Traumatic bereavement. Wow. June Brown says, I pray that God give the families the strength. They are the ones that are hurting now. He said losing a job. What do you mean by that? Losing a job. The Times says when we leave this earth, we never know how we're going to go. Well, I can agree. I can disagree also. Because there's a lot of people out there in hospice and these adult daycare centers, and they know their time is short, and that they close to death. They're just resting up and just waiting on their time to go. Of course, we don't want to go. A lot of us, well, some people don't care about death at all, but I don't want to go suddenly at all. I at least want to have some time to make sure I'm right, and I don't want to be young neither. I would hope and pray that I can live to about 120 or even older, if possible. Some people, they go by the media, you hear in the news, oh, this person died at the age of 50, 45 of a heart attack. You know what I mean? 60, young ages and whatnot, real young. So I would hope not to go sudden or so early and young. All right. What up to 10-2K? What up? What up? Imagine the panic in the submarine. You are many feet underwater and trapped in a what is that? A sardine can? That's crazy. Wow. Fitzgerald says, couldn't they at least have installed a tracking device into the submarine? Surely they could have paid for it to be installed so the submarine could have been located, right? Well, I'm not sure, if submarines are like airplanes, even if it's a private airplane. You know what I mean? It could be detected. So I'm not sure about submarines. I heard as though the Navy said they heard a loud bang on the microphone, of all the devices and stuff that they have, in the ocean and whatnot. I'm not sure about the tracking devices and whatnot, but all that stuff have been destroyed. Everything, even the human bodies gone, possibly disintegrated, crushed, eaten up by sea creatures. I mean, you just don't know. Got lost in the Titanic boat, spread it across the ocean somewhere. So just imagine. Not only you got to worry about the wreckage, but you got to also worry about the sea creatures down there. All right. Oh man, you funny at Prodigal Son, man. He's, he says, I ain't what up, Tensuke. He says, I ain't never riding the sub on the water like that, my brother. He says, Chirac ain't afraid of death. Wow. He said, why weren't the Navy and Coast Guard alerted? They heard it. Yeah, they said the Navy heard it on their microphone. They heard some type of explosion. Narrow says, I think the best. Good, I think says, I am not into animal cruelty, but they should have put a monkey in there first. Oh, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say the human being right there. I ain't gonna say that, man. I can't say that last part. I can't say that the person's name. He said and test it like they did in space. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? What up to see Mac? What up? What up? What up? I hope all is well. We just here talking about this story about the submarine, about the 5 people who went just to go sightsee. the Titanic, over 12,000 feet, in the waters, and whatnot, for sure, you know. So we was also looking at the pictures of the Titanic also. Fleming says, how deep can subs go? They think they went too far. Well, the Titanic is, I think it's about 12,500 feet in the waters. That's where the Titanic is at. Over 12,000 feet in the waters, Let's see if we can find it right fast in these pictures. So that's the Titanic right there, all the way down. You know what I mean? All the way down. Over 12,000 feet in the waters and whatnot. So that would be the only possible way, close up that they can see the Titanic. If they was to go into a submarine and I guess, flow down there. And the thing is, you went down. So now you got to worry about getting back up, with a PlayStation controller at that, which is crazy. For sure. All right. C-Max says another sad event. Too many wealthy people are obsessed with what they cannot attain. He said, "Don't do that. Don't do bro Pete like that." Nah. You know what I'm saying? No. Particle Son says, "I can barely go into a sub ride at Disneyland without getting inches." For sure. I don't do rides in general. I don't do them, period. If it ain't little rides at the park, that you go around the corner of your neighborhood, play with your kids and whatnot, on a merry-go-round or whatever the case may be, I'm not going on a roller coaster or nothing like that. For sure. Prodigal Son says, is colored folks are scared of water due to the transatlantic slave trade? Well, I don't know nothing about that one right there. I don't know nothing about that. So anybody with some knowledge to that, and you care to answer that, I don't know about that part right there. But I'm not saying that I'm afraid of water and whatnot, but I'm just not taking that risk of something like that, or put myself in harm's way. I don't even like boat rides just to go have fun on, just to go relax on. I can relax sitting on a beach, on a clean beach, a clean one. I doubt there's any clean beaches in these days, because I haven't been to one since I was about, I don't know, long time. Fleming says, someone asked me to skydive some years back. Didn't go, but thought about it. Skydiving? No way. I seen some people on Facebook skydiving. For what? For what? What's the thrill? What's the thrill in skydiving? Floating around, wasting money on just to floating around in the sky to come down. Some people like that rush. Some people like that thrill. Not me at all. I'm not saying I'm afraid, but I wouldn't even take the chance to do something like that. I mean, granted that some people enjoy stuff like that. I'm not knocking them. I'm not saying it's wrong or whatever. People, go to arcades. Some people go to those places where as though they can smash cars up with a sledgehammer, whatever that is. Some people like to shoot darts and whatnot, play golf. Hey, man, but I ain't skydiving. You can add that. All right. Prodigal Son says, you don't know about us getting thrown off the deck in the middle of the ocean in chains and shackles. Well, I don't know the particulars of that, but I'm pretty sure, I came across movies and stories, history and things like that, where as though, they did stuff like that to slaves and whatnot. But that pinpointed towards them just doing that. I've seen more done than just that in general, But I don't know for the people who dwell on those who have been thrown off the ocean by chains and shackles, because they had to feel the same way about, dogs or guns or ropes and whatnot, if that's the case, you know. 102K says the only thing I was upset about is that 19-year-old was scared to go and the dad forced him to go on the sub. That was said by the auntie. Well, the kid was the kid was 19 years of age, considered legally an adult. He can make his own decisions, you know. He can make his own decisions as a 19-year-old, and he chose not to, which caused him, when she was part, of losing his life. Wayne Jr. said, "There's another part to the ocean underneath the ocean floor." Really? Let me look up something. All right. How deep is the Atlantic Ocean? Let's just see it. Let's just check that out. The max is, what I'm saying is 27,493 feet. Over 27,000 feet is the deepest part, one of the deepest parts in the Atlantic Ocean. Wow. That's crazy. Narrow says, "I think the best way to die while being aware is having, what is that, dementia, and the only thing that comes to remembrance is knowing that Jesus is Savior." Okay, got you. Willie Timpson says, I can't see the thrill about jumping out of a perfectly good airplane." Brandy says, "What about ziplining and the slingshot and bungee jumping?" Slingshot? Oh, no. Well, the slingshot, I've seen videos on that. I did, but nah. Pretty funny when people go on the slingshot, they got the camera on their face and whatnot. I saw one of the last videos I saw, a female lost her wig and whatnot. Crazy. People pass out doing it, throw up, scared, paranoid, panic. Why would people put themselves in a position like that if they know they're going to get like that? Doing a ride or something like that, a slingshot, roller coasters, bungee jump, zip line. What am I zip lining for? I don't see the thrill in that. To get from one end to another. Listen, give me the keys to the ride and I'll meet you over there. You understand? That's me. Show me the path. I'll run there. You know what I mean? It's more safer for me because I'm gliding, zip lining. That stuff. Listen, I don't find that stuff fun at all. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm not not knocking anybody who does it or want to do it. That's on y'all. But me, I don't find that stuff fun. When I was a kid, maybe. Now it's like, I don't know. Fitzgerald says the transatlantic slave trade was a cruel period in history where Europeans and Americans captured Africans, treating them as property and forcing them into unpaid labor. Casey, you says the 19-year-old said he just wanted to spend time with his dad, which is why he went. Is very sad. Listen, pops. Listen. Let's just go to Ruth Chris. We could chill, have a nice steak, some nice garlic potatoes and salt and pepper, and a cold Pepsi. We could talk, pops. We don't got to go in the water and spend $250,000. We could spend $150 on a nice meal, call it a day. You know what I mean? Or we could go to the basketball courts, shoot some hoops. You know what I mean? Shoot around like we Steph and Clay, and just vibe out. You know what I mean? You want to spend time with your pops on the water? What? I don't know. Listen, I really, really don't know. Sure. And sad situation. What up, Christopher Span? John Smith says prodigal is, he said, has to do to, okay, you talking to prodigal son about something. Good, I think says there is something with the stepson of the billionaire. The way he came against, he says Cardi B. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Christopher says, "Sorry, I missed graduate. Sorry, missed yesterday's broadcast. I was at my graduation. It's all right, man. Congratulations for sure. You know." Good, I think says, "How deep? Think of how big a blue whale is. Now think how many there are in there." Mm. You're funny at Flemings. Oh man. He said, I was just curious. Zip lining? Oh no. Uh-uh. Listen, I don't even like animal zoos and whatnot. I don't like no zoos. You know, you watch these little videos of lions breaking out, bears breaking out. I need to bring me something there. You understand? I don't know, but I wouldn't mind going to a zoo. Depends on the security level, how they manage the animals, and how they tame the animals. Also, all right. Let me see. Fitzgerald says I can't see myself doing things like going underwater, going snowboarding, skiing, bungee jumping, surfing. I'm a simple guy. I like the ground. Surfing, snowboarding. Well, snowboarding sounds cool. I do it if it's not like that much of a like a deep slope and whatnot and stuff like that. I don't mind doing it. You know what I'm saying? Snowboarding and whatnot. So that'll be cool. Snowboarding for sure. All right. Let me see who else. Prodigal Son said, "You should know about slavery, bro. You live in North Carolina." Well, I'm not from here. I'm originally from Jersey City, New Jersey. I was only in North Carolina for about a year and what, 5 months. That's it. You know, I mean, I've delivered to places where as though they had Confederate flags and things like that. You know, with Caucasians. I mean, you could tell they country. But let me tell you something. They seem like they some of the most nicest people. Polite, buy you dinner, give you tips, very respectful. You know what I mean? Talk about God, give you pointers about life. You know, maybe you should invest in some land, houses, and whatnot. They give you pointers. I don't get it. You know what I mean? And then you got people of our complexion from our areas who just mean. You know, you say good morning to them, and what are you looking at? Or they give you the stink face. They give you the stink doodle face. You know? So I'm talking about my experience about being deep in the South, in the woods, a house somewhere in the woods that you got to deliver to. I'm ready. You know, but these are some of the nicest people that I've ran across, you know, even with Confederate flags and whatnot. So I can only speak about my experience. You know, it's what people say about those people with Confederate flags and the deep in the South. I haven't experienced no type of racist people at all, not one bit. You know, so when I go back to Jersey, like I did yesterday, I mean these people are just off the chain. You know, all right. Brandy says I think it's best to stay. It's safer to go on a mountain than that deep underwater. And a mountain, huh? Listen, how big is the mountain? Is it next to the highway? You know, he said a mountain. Listen, I don't even want to go camping. Uh-uh. Listen, let's go camping with somewhere safe. You know, where's gates around where they can close them off. You know. All right. Now with good I think says no way I'm struggling to get that kind of money. Then after I get it, I put myself in a sardine can and go into the deep waters. He called it a sardine can. He said he said you don't like zoos. Listen, zoos, I don't mind the zoos, you know what I'm saying, as long as it's some type of securement there, you know, because some zoos, these workers, they don't know how to, tame or, have good security in reference to taming those animals and whatnot. Jesus Ford says, "What up?" He says, "I don't know why rich people got that mentality, thinking just because they got a lot of money, they can just get people to do anything crazy like Aaliyah and Kobe. No offense, okay." Fitzgerald says, "Snowboarding is fun, but I'm just talking about snowboarding off very big mountains and steep slopes." Okay. But I think says, "I am yet to see a." Uh, you're funny, man. You're funny for sure. It was funny, but there are black snowboarders out there. You know, there are. You might want to look up Gabby Meaden. You might want to look her up. You know, a black snowboarder, African American snowboarder. You know, she's also an actor and a songwriter for sure. All right, she's the first African American woman professional snowboarder. So you can check her out if you like. I believe she's from Los Angeles. You know, probably about 35 years of age. All right. Christopher Span says, "For me, I just think it another way of these men and women trying to play God. They even have a bodysuit. Supposedly, they can go uh, 15,000 feet." Listen, they trying everything. These people out here trying everything. Flying cars. They trying everything. Going back in time chambers. Cloning. Where that went? When they used to talk about cloning people. Where did that go? The flying cars and whatnot. Building a chamber to go back in time. Really? Having a man to get pregnant. They trying everything. You know? They trying everything out here. For sure. Christopher Span said, "I still don't think that the human family has reached other planets or even left Earth. This is why scientists do what they always do, trying to prove God wrong." Wow. G. Davis says, "You can come to the zoo in Cincinnati. It's in the hood. Even the animals don't want to escape." Prodigal Son says, "What do you like to do for fun besides boxing?" Good question. Videos, edit videos, record videos, you know, watch documentaries, sports, play basketball, football, you know, run track. What else is out there? Cook, you know what I mean? Love to cook. Been cooking since I was 9, 10, 8, whatever years old. So, but I'm always busy. So I don't really have too much time to do those things. You know, when you got 5 kids, you can't really interact with your activities that you prefer to do or as you used to do every day when you didn't have none. So as much as I can, that's what I do. You know, go outside, play some ball, run some track. And another thing, I want to maybe incorporate swimming, maybe into my activities, maybe. Fantabulous says Tony and the Rides. What up, Ethan? What up? What up? What up? Corey Lewis. Do you listen to R&B music? Do I listen to R&B? The Trey Songz, the R. Kellys, the Avants, Brian McKnight's, Gerald Levert, you know, Maxwell, the Gap Band, Charlie Wilson. Who else is out there? Grayson Tiller. To answer your question, not really. You know what I mean? I really don't listen to anything. Somebody asked me the question earlier. Excuse me. I think it was last week. Listen, I rode back home from Jersey this morning. I left 12 a.m. last night, and most of the times nothing was on. Just riding through 95, then riding through 85, heading down. Wasn't listening to anything music-wise. I was listening to some of the Truth of God, or I got the Truth of God songs that I put together, But, some music got to have meaning to it. And these days, these music don't have no type of meaning. All they're talking about is, getting cutty. That's it. But they're just saying it in a different way. Despite who it is. It could be a Trey Songz. It could be well, he's locked up right now. What's that kid that got locked up from Canada? I forgot his name. But that's all they want to talk about these days. Cutty. Getting the cutty. How they going to do this to the cutty? How they going to do that to the cutty? R&B back in the day had a little bit more meaning to it. Just a little bit more. You understand? All right. Let's see. He says move out to Cali. Good I think says I got my adrenaline rush when I was a kid in the hood. Bullets, crackheads, crazy folks, police chases. Now I'm older. My adrenaline is spent. I ain't trying no crazy thing. So hydrogen cars by 2028. He said we got to have a conversation about the owl robots that I heard are going to be released in 2027. Wow. Flemings. I like Flemings. Flemings, yo. Flemings be on point. Shout out to Flemings, That one of the channel's moderators, No caps. No caps, y'all. No caps. Shout out to Flemings, And please respect my moderators, the things that are in order, for sure. Good I think says, remember that guy that went to the mountains but got his arm stuck under a big rock and he had to cut his arm off at the wrist? He survived. Wow. Ouch. Oh man, that's just crazy. Flora says, amen to that. You have a new truck from your company? No, not at all. All right. The weather is fine. What up, Octavius? What up? Hope all is well. It says Flemings always be on point. Absolutely. Shout out to Flemings. I remember when my channel was terminated and I got back on. So you remember the ones who was there from the beginning times, and not many people was there, when you're trying to rebuild back up. So shout out to Georgina Flemings for sure. And we're going to conclude this live. So if anybody got any last comments, any last remarks to this live, feel free to make your last remarks. We are going to be on the other YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network, probably around maybe 6 or 7 later, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Thank everybody for tuning into this live here on this channel. Do remember, if you're in tune with the Truth of God, you can go to Tony Harvin TV. Definitely broadcasting the Truth of God channel. Is that channel, I had to build from the ground up. It's doing pretty well right now. Appreciate everybody for coming on that channel, showing support. So I'm gonna read a little bit more comments, and then we're going to knock off. All right, Octavius, you says, do y'all believe the billionaires got in that submarine to go see the Titanic in the bottom of the ocean. It's all a description. You mean deception? Do you mean deception, or you said description? I think you mean deception. Prodigal Son says, this world just like common sense, bro. Period. G. Davis says, there's bears in the Tennessee Smoky Mountains. They are nice bears. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. I remember I went to the Poconos somewhere in Pennsylvania, and people could buy food to feed the deers. Yeah, okay. What I look like sitting there feeding a deer some deer food. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What up, Willie Timpson? What up, what up, what up? Appreciate that at John Smith. So, all right, we're gonna end this live. I thank everybody for tuning in to this live as we talked about this submarine implosion. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody, who participated and whatnot. We're working on having a biblical discussion this coming Sunday. He says two. He said 500,000. Now they're dead. Appreciate that. At C Mac, Elias says I missed many of the videos here. I'll check them out when I have time. No problem. At Elias, no problem. It's all good. Wayne says once again, let us all learn from this tragedy. He says have a good evening for sure. All right, may you all have a blessed day, blessed evening, and tune in if I happen to log on later to my other YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. I'm out. Peace, peace, peace. God bless. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same.